You're watching
The 8th National League Championship Series between the San Diego Padres and the Atlanta Braves. This time around, it's a sold-out Turner Field. Standing room only here in Atlanta to watch Game 6 as the Braves try to force Game 7 tomorrow night. And we welcome you to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, along with my partners, Tim McCarver and Bob Brenly. Tim, we look at the Atlanta Braves. Really a couple of comebacks. Have come back in this series late, and they've had a couple of late comeback victories in the last two games.
The Atlanta Braves, the last two games, almost like a proud, battered heavyweight in the late rounds. Usually the dependable San Diego Padre bullpen has had no problem throughout the course of the season. But over the last two games, from the 6th inning on, 11 runs have been scored against the Padre bullpen. 7 of those runs came on 2 swings. Back in Game 4 against Dan Maselli, Andres Galarraga with a grand slam home run, his first RBIs in the LCS. And then the big blow, Michael Tucker, a 3-run home run to put the Braves ahead 5-4, and he hit it off Kevin Brown. A lot of people are saying that that was not the right move to make by Bruce Bochy. I think it was absolutely the right move to make.
Yeah, I think we all agree about that, but the problem is it didn't work. So now you turn to Game 6, and one bright spot for the San Diego Padres has got to be the strained left quad for Greg Vaughn is good enough for him to play in this evening's game.
You know, Joe, it's hard to believe that a guy that hit 50 homers and drove in 119 runs during the regular season could be a forgotten man, but that's been the case in the NLCS, limited to 4 at-bats, 3 in Game 1 before the injury, 1 pinch hit appearance against Greg Maddux in Game 5. They desperately need not only his bat, but his presence in that lineup. Greg Vaughn is a guy that really carried the Padres offense through the early going of this season when the rest of them sputtered, and Bruce Bochy's hoping he can carry him for one more victory.
One thing, though, to keep in mind with the bad leg, Greg Vaughn is playing left field today behind the left-hander Sterling Hitchcock, who will face a right-handed hitting lineup, with the only exception being the starter for Atlanta, Tom Glavine. So he will be tested in left field. Will we have a Game 7? Will the Padres move on to the World Series with a win here today? We're about to find out. Pitch number 1 coming up after this from your home for the 1998 World Series. Stay with us. Game 6 coming up. Back to Turner Field. While there are some empty seats, you have to believe that's because it is a work day for most regular human beings. Most us baseball people. But they will be here before long, and it's a standing room only crowd as the call was sent out by that terrific crowd in San Diego. They would pack in there and make some noise, and the chop is out in full force as the Braves take the field. Few believe that we would be here for game number 6. History would tell you that we wouldn't be here. No team down 3-0 in any one Major League Baseball postseason series had even forced a Game 6, let alone a Game 7, let alone winning and advancing to the next round. A look at the starting lineup for the San Diego Padres. Gilvio Veras will lead off at second base. Tony Gwynn bats second in right field. Greg Vaughn back in the lineup, hitting third in left field. His first start since Game 1 against John Smoltz. Caminiti cleans up at third base. Jim Leyritz, he's batting 5th. He's the catcher. Wally Joyner at first base batting 6th. Then it's Steve Finley in center. Chris Gomez at short. And Sterling Hitchcock is pitching and batting 9th. The defense for the Atlanta Braves, a different look. This is their right-handed hitting lineup, which includes Galarraga, who, believe it or not, one of the most sure-handed defensive first basemen in baseball, has committed 4 errors in this National League Championship Series. And here's a look at the left-hander Tom Glavine, the National League's only 20-game winner during the regular season.
And most of you folks very familiar with Glavine. He is a pitcher that throws everything off the fastball. A good changeup. He lives on the outside corner, especially that changeup to right-handed batters. He knows to when to come inside. He'll do that early in the game, and then the second time through the order, when he's in trouble, he prefers to stay outside.
Tom Glavine is a man, as we've mentioned in the past, he's stubborn. He will stay with his game plan, and that's working the outside part of the plate, showing pitches inside off the plate just to give the batter something to look at, and then go back away again.
Tom Glavine worked Game 6 of last year's National League Championship Series and lost that game to Kevin Brown and the Florida Marlins. He lasted only 5 2/3 innings in a 7-4 loss. Meanwhile, in this postseason against Chicago in the division series, he got a no decision, 7 strong innings, and then in Game 2 against San Diego, he lost to Kevin Brown 3-0. He lasted 6 innings. So he has been busy, and as I mentioned, the only 20-game winner in the National League. The broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. Glad you're with us. 4:19 locally, Eastern Time Zone, and we are ready for the start of Game 6. Gilvio Veras first up, and Glavine starts him with a ball in the dirt. Well, right out of the gate, we're going to be talking about the shadows as the shadows begin to creep across the pitcher's mound. And we'll talk about the hitting background and a high sky for these outfielders dealing with the sun. A late afternoon start in Atlanta. 2 balls, no strikes from Glavine to Veras. Home plate umpire is Steve Ripley. Terry Tate at first. Larry Poncino at second. Tom Hallion at third. Greg Bonet down the left field line. Jerry Davis down the right field line. High again. It's 3-0.
Of concern to the Atlanta Braves, Tommy Glavine walked 6 in his only other appearance. That was in Game 2 against the Padres.
Veras will take on 3-0 and take ball 4 up and away on 4 straight, a leadoff walk. Not the start Glavine had in mind when he woke up this morning, or Leo Mazzoni. And the Padres get an early base runner. And now you get into Gwynn, Vaughn, and Caminiti. And you mentioned it, Bob, during the open. The presence of Vaughn should change the way both Gwynn and Caminiti are pitched to on either side of Greg Vaughn.
Well, you would certainly think so. And also another byproduct of that is Sterling Hitchcock perhaps can be a little more relaxed going into this game, knowing the Padres have their thumper back in that lineup offensively.
Leadoff walk. Gwynn takes a strike.
Exactly what you'd expect from Tony Gwynn. Sprays him around.
His outfield hits by direction. They play him to go the other way in the Atlanta outfield. Right field line is wide open. Double play ball to short. Weiss starts it. Graffinino in the middle. 6-4-3.
If a ground ball double play is a pitcher's best friend, after you've walked the first hitter, he becomes a family member. 6-4-3, easily turned. 4 straight balls to Veras, and now a double play with Gwynn.
The double play combination of Weiss and Graffinino turned it. With Gwynn running, they had plenty of time. Now Vaughn, who won't run well either, with a strained left quadriceps muscle, takes the ball low and away. Bruce Bochy telling us before the game his leg, Vaughn's leg, felt so good they might not even wrap it before tonight's game. And if they did wrap it, it's not much of a wrapping because it doesn't look out of the ordinary with his uniform pants. But not only at the plate, guys, but as we mentioned, out in left field backing up Sterling Hitchcock. That leg will be tested here before this game is over. 2 balls and a strike from Glavine.
Even with the count 2-0, Glavine stays away.
A walk, a double play ball, 2 balls and a strike on Greg Vaughn. 3-1. John Vanderwall thought he might be the hero with that go-ahead 2-out, 2-run home run in Game 5. He hit that in the bottom of the 6th inning, but you know the rest. If you don't, you weren't watching the pregame. 3 balls and a strike. Full count.
Well, John Vanderwall is a hero to every pinch hitter in baseball, though. They all dream of that day when they get a chance to get a start defensively, and Vanderwall has certainly taken advantage of those opportunities in this series.
Crowd noise here in Atlanta. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Vaughn. Into center field, off the end of the bat. Andrew Jones there. Inning over. Glavine gets around a leadoff walk. The double play ball helped. Weiss, Williams, Chipper Jones coming up for the Braves in the bottom of the 1st. No score. Sterling Hitchcock and the San Diego Padres are out on the field to look at the starting lineup for the Atlanta Braves. They lead it off with Walt Weiss at short. Gerald Williams bats second in right field. Chipper Jones hits third at third. He has done very little in this NLCS. Andres Galarraga cleans up. He hasn't done much either with Lopez, Andrew Jones, Danny Bautista in left, Tony Graffinino at second base, and Tom Glavine pitching and batting ninth. The defense for San Diego, Greg Vaughn back in the outfield. He's in left field, and the Padres only one error in this NLCS, and that came on a throwing error by Chris Gomez in Game 5. And a look at the left-hander working on 3 days rest, Sterling Hitchcock. Hitchcock in his career on 3 days rest has a record of 0-2 and an ERA of just under 8.5 as he starts Weiss out with strike one.
Each of his last 2 starts before this evening, all of this evening included, have been under similar conditions. Bright sun behind the pitcher, shade between home plate and the mound, and he's been very effective.
1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball for strike 2 to Weiss. 1-2.
Well, this is the view that Jim Leyritz has from catcher cam. You can see the bright sunlight in the background and the darkness between the mound and home plate.
And Weiss strikes out. A good start for Hitchcock, who struck out 11 under similar circumstances back in San Diego when he hooked up against Randy Johnson in Game 4, the clincher in the division series.
We mentioned the first game that Hitchcock pitched that most of his split finger fastballs will be out of the strike zone. That one no exception. About ankle high to Walt Weiss.
And now Gerald Williams. He didn't get a good start on that swing. Very late, strike 1.
Well, if you're a pitcher that has some kind of an off-speed pitch that you can sell with that good arm speed, and Hitchcock does have that split finger as well as the curveball we saw right there, those are the pitches that are going to be hard for hitters to pick up until the visibility improves.
0-2 on Williams, who is 1 out of 10 in this series with San Diego. Williams just got a piece. Now, while Sterling Hitchcock was adamant that he wanted the ball and was ready on 3 days rest and made that point clear as he draws boos for not handing the bat to the bat boy and throwing it back toward home plate, he made it clear to Dave Stewart and Bruce Bochy that he wanted it. Talking to Bruce Bochy before the game after Brown worked in Game 5, he said there was really no way that he was going to start Kevin Brown in this game no matter what was said. 0-2, and Williams grounds to Joyner. First 2 are gone for the Braves here in the bottom of the first.
Well, I think even if Kevin Brown had not pitched in relief, this is the right move to make. You look at Sterling Hitchcock's scouting report. We'll go to the splitter and the changeup when he's ahead in the count, especially the split finger. His fastball is better than people realize. It's sneaky quick. And as Tim mentioned, he gets batters to swing at balls out of the strike zone as well as any pitcher in the game.
Chipper Jones with 2 out, nobody on. As we showed you, only 1 RBI in this series, 5 out of 20 at the plate. Kevin Brown will either work Game 7 tomorrow night here in Atlanta or Game 1 of the World Series Saturday night in New York, as a strike drops into Chipper Jones.
7 of the seats here at Turner Field occupied by Yankee scouts. Imagine that, 7 scouts for the Yankees here.
All with the same opinion on everything.
Yeah, right.
1-2 the count on Chipper Jones.
Gene Michael, formerly the general manager, formerly the manager of the Yankees.
2 out, bases empty. Jones strikes out, and a very strong first inning for Sterling Hitchcock, working on 3 days rest. Strikes out 2 after 1 no score.
If the Atlanta hitters could see the split finger fastball as well as we do right here, they would have more success with it. All 3 outs recorded by Hitchcock in the bottom of the first inning with the splitter. 2 strikeouts and a ground out.
Now Caminetti leads off for San Diego and takes the ball up and away. The numbers for Caminetti: couple of important home runs, especially at the time. The second one put San Diego out in front in Game 5, and here's a look at it. First pitch against John Smoltz, first home run in his career against John Smoltz in the first inning, put San Diego up 2-0. Caminiti's first home run was here in Atlanta, Game 1, the winner in the 10th inning. And that's up the middle for a leadoff base hit. Second inning in a row that the Padres have put their leadoff man on, and now Layrich, Joyner, and Finley will try to chase Caminiti home.
Well, there's no question this is what the Padre hitters are going to have to do against Tom Glavine. Get up on the plate a little bit, try to line that pitch on the outside part, back up the middle or into right field.
Tommy Glavine almost had a skate save there.
Which is apropos.
Of course.
Because he played hockey. I know. We got to bring that up every time. He played hockey. Layrich takes a ball down and in.
He did that so we would bring it up.
That's right.
Drafted by the Los Angeles Kings in 1984 out of high school.
You've been saying that since the 1991 postseason.
That is exactly right.
1 ball, no strikes on Layrich. Big numbers in this postseason. Good swing there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was hittable right there. Tommy Glavine trying to come inside to Layrich. Wow, postseason power, I'll say.
Postseason home run ratio per at bats. Minimum of 5, and Layrich qualifies. He has hit 7. And only 44 at bats in the postseason, 2-1. The long shadows here at Turner Field. 2 balls and a strike. 2-2 from Glavine.
Bob, you and I looking out in right field and seeing Gerald Williams shading his eyes from the sun, putting that glove up. Glove up, glasses down. Tough sun field and right today at Turner Field.
The 2-2. Full count now on Layrich.
That's what Gerald Williams is looking at from his spot in right field. That bright sun shining over the roof of Turner Field.
Now the 3-2 to Layrich. Runner goes, and Layrich got a piece. Caminiti running as the Padres try to get a little action going on the bases here in the second.
A defensive swing. Layrich chases a pitch down out of the strike zone. He knew Caminiti was on the move. Perhaps some holes would be opened up on the infield. Took a shot and only able to foul it off.
With a right-handed hitter hitting and the runner running on a 3-2 count, right-handers are more apt to swing at that ball out of the strike zone. The left-hander can't see him running, but the right-hander can.
Going again, and Layrich breaks his bat. That'll get Caminiti down to second on the 5-3 ground out. 1 away here in the San Diego second inning. And now Wally Joyner walks in with Finley on deck.
Usually on a borderline pitch like that, you have more of a tendency to swing at it because you want to protect the runner. The runner does not have a good jump. Now this is a ball that Layrich perhaps wouldn't swing at normally, but he has to. He can't take a chance on the umpire calling it a ball because it was inside.
Now Joyner. And a strike over the outside corner to Wally, who has driven in only 1 run in this NLCS. Joyner 3 out of 10 in his career against Tom Glavine. High 1-1.
And once again, the Braves are shifted for Joyner to hit the ball to the opposite field. The Braves shift in the outfield more than any team in the major leagues, and that's a direct result of the control of their pitching staff in general, Tom Glavine specifically.
Joyner reaching, strike 2.
That looked like a hard slider to Wally Joyner. Glavine looks a little crisper today than he did the other night.
A ball and 2 strikes. Joyner strikes out. 2 gone. First strikeout for Glavine.
Bob was talking about the outfield. Why were they shifting the left-handed hitter to left field? Well, this is the reason. Fastball on the outside corner. Fastball misses. Slider off the plate. Slider off the plate. Glavine pitching to the defense.
There's only one place you can hit that ball, and that's to the opposite field.
Right.
So Joyner is now 4 out of 13 in this series, and it's up to Steve Finley, who is 6 out of 18 in this NLCS with 2 RBIs. Go ahead run at second with 2 out. The fastball's high for ball 1. Finley has 57 career at bats against Tom Glavine. He's hitting .298 against this left-hander in his long career. 2-0.
Considerably better than Steve did against left-handed pitching this year, batting only .188. That was the lowest average against left-handed pitching of anybody in the National League with 100 or more at bats.
Caminiti a leadoff single down to second on the ground out by Layrich. Joyner struck out. Finley takes a strike, and it's 2-1.
Steve Finley, a middle-in fastball hitter, especially the ball is down and over that inside part of the plate. He will, when the count is in his favor, reach out and hook that ball away from him also.
That's over the outside corner. 2-2.
I think that's what he's going to have to do, Bob.
Full count with the number 8 hitter Gomez on deck. No score in the second, and Steve Finley trying to change that. Second walk handed out by Glavine. It's 2 on, 2 out for Gomez. Now Gomez walks in just 3 out of 17 in this series with no RBIs. Not only in this NLCS, but no RBIs in the entire postseason for Gomez. Two on, 2 out. And a ball to Gomez with Hitchcock, the pitcher, to follow Gomez, in case you're wondering.
It looks like Gomez has moved up on the plate. It looks like he's closer to the plate than he was the first time he faced Glavine. Not only with his feet, he looks like he's leaning out over there.
Over but low, 2-0. Well, not your typical automatic start for Glavine again here this afternoon. In second inning trouble, the 2-0 to Gomez. On the corner, 2-1. Glavine pitched around a leadoff walk in the first. Gwynn bounced into a double play. A leadoff single by Caminiti here in the second. Later a 2-out walk, and now the 2-1 to Gomez. To the left side, foul ball, 2-2.
Glavine comes inside so rarely on right-handed hitters that when he does, invariably, they lock themselves up. They get jammed on that pitcher, so trained to look away on Tom Glavine, that when he does come on the inside part of the plate, that ball's actually right down the middle, and you're not really ready to put a good swing on it. Gomez just tops that ball harmlessly down the third baseline.
This Turner Field crowd making some more noise, wanting the top of the second to end right here. To the second baseman, Graffinino. Out at first, and the Padres are finished in the second. No runs, a hit, a walk, 2 left. Inning and a half complete. Game 6, no score. Galarraga first up, the cleanup hitter for Atlanta against Hitchcock. And a strike on a breaking ball from the left-hander. Not much in the NLCS from Galarraga. The home run, the RBIs all on one swing in game 4. 1 ball, 1 strike. Interesting. A Yankee banner covering some of the bunting here at Turner Field. World Series will begin on Saturday night. We know it will begin in New York. But we don't know who will be the visiting club, either Atlanta or San Diego, up 3-2.
Our congratulations to Joe Torre and the New York Yankees, who have now won 121 games this year.
The 2-1 to Galarraga's right down the middle, 2-2.
Also to the Cleveland Indians.
Absolutely.
They put up a lot better battle than most people anticipated against the high-powered Yankees. Where is it? Where is it? You can see there's actually some sunlight in between the shadows now. The ball kind of flashed as it came to home plate.
Hey, the New York Yankees, very glad that they are not facing Jim Thome anymore. What a series he had.
There's a career for Andres Galarraga. Last 4 seasons, most in the National League, 517 RBIs. 3 of those years out in Colorado. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Galarraga.
I think Hitchcock has to throw Galarraga something other than the fastball right here.
He's shown him a couple of fastballs in this sequence, but generally when he gets to 2 strikes, that split finger's the pitch he's going to go to.
On 3-2, he misses high with a riding fastball and a leadoff walk. The Braves have their first base runner of the game.
It looked like Dave Stewart, the pitching coach, said that he pushed that fastball. And what Stewart meant was that you lead with the elbow and you kind of coax it through the strike zone. Unfortunately for Hitchcock, it was up and away to Galarraga.
Mr. Carter checking out the action, trying to catch the game through the glare here at Turner Field. President Carter watching as first pitch is a strike to Javi Lopez.
Either that or somebody stole his binoculars. I'm not sure what he was doing.
He's got good enough seats. I don't think he needs them. The 0-1 to Lopez. 1 on, nobody out. Ball and a strike.
A lot of influence in peanut farming.
Get good seats. Of course, he went on to bigger and better things after that.
Yes, he did.
You think he pays full price for peanuts here at the ballpark, or does he get some kind of a discount?
He
brings his own.
1 ball, 1 strike on Javi Lopez. 2 balls and a strike on Lopez. They tried to jack up the atmosphere around here before the game, didn't they? They started pumping in some AC/DC, some Beastie Boys, some Green Day, some Hasselhoff, some Shatner. They had them rocking in the seats here before the game, and I think the message was sent out loud and clear back in San Diego. They won a home field advantage here in Atlanta, which I'm not so sure you could say in the first 2 games because of the empty seats. This is a much more enthused crowd here for game 6. Lopez with a 2 ball, 1 strike count. Out in front of that pitch, 2-2.
Michael Tucker with 5 RBIs in game 5. That ties him with 1 other player in postseason play to get 5 RBIs from the number 8 spot in the order.
Lopez strikes out. A fastball blown right past him, and strikeout number 3 for Sterling Hitchcock.
He airs this one out.
Now we mentioned Hitchcock is sneaky quick. If you see enough off-speed pitches, eventually as a hitter, it almost lulls you to sleep at the plate. You start to guess or at least think off-speed pitch along with that pitcher, and that's when that fastball can be sneaky quick. Throws one right by a good fastball hitter.
Such a neat look from catcher cam because of, as you mentioned, that one streak of sunlight coming through in between the mound and the plate. It's got to make that fastball more difficult to hit, and if Hitchcock is ever going to take advantage of it, now is the time to do it. Andrew Jones with 1-on-1 out.
You see that little bit of sunlight just in front of the pitcher's mound.
High fastball, strike one.
As the ball's on its way to the plate, it almost looks like somebody taking a flash picture of it. It goes through the sunlight, it brightens immediately, and then disappears again.
Now you know what it was like hitting for Mark McGwire this year. All the flash bulbs going off.
That's right. Pitch after pitch after pitch.
Man.
One ball, one strike.
That other player, by the way, in postseason play who had 5 RBIs in a game from the 8-hole, Tony Lazzeri. They did in Game 2 of the 1936 World Series, the Yankees against the Giants at the Polo Grounds.
Jones lost his bat and popped it foul, backing out of play. So 5 RBIs for Lazzeri and 5 RBIs in game number 5 for Michael Tucker as we take a look at this strike 2 on Jones.
Just lost the grip on a high fastball. Once again, Andrew Jones, a very good fastball hitter, and a little bit tardy on that one.
Game of a lifetime on Monday night in San Diego for Michael Tucker. That gets away from Leyritz. Down to second, the go-ahead run, Galarraga.
Now a fastball that got away from Sterling Hitchcock. Up and away, and Jim Leyritz going after it, loses his mask. I'll tell you, that catcher cam takes a beating when Leyritz wears it.
Here's a look at it before the beating.
After the beating.
So a 2-2 count. The wild pitch by Hitchcock, runner at second, and Jones grounds to short. Gomez gobbles it up, 2 gone. Galarraga stays put. The batter will be Danny Batista. Catcher cam has officially passed on for the rest of the night.
Jim Leyritz has been a part of many postseason heroics, but he's 0 for 2 with catcher cam. Had that collision the other day with Walt Weiss on the great throw by Vanderwall, and now the wild pitch by Hitchcock.
And now Danny Batista, the number 7 hitter. Galarraga at second and 2 out. No score in the second. Not much of a swing as Batista couldn't hold up. Strike 1. Here's the throw from John Vanderwall, getting Walt Weiss at the plate in game 3. Hitchcock was pitching in this game, by the way, and here's another death of catcher cam. Compliments of Jim Leyritz. When Tim says he's 0 for 2, the 0-1 pitch to Batista. A ball and a strike. Batista looking for his first postseason RBI. Late swing, strike 2.
Hitchcock up to 91 on that fastball. He's throwing considerably harder in this game than he has in his past 2 postseason starts. His fastball topping out at 88, 89 miles an hour. A little extra zip on that fastball today.
Now the 1-2 to Batista, 2-2. The number 8 hitter Graffinino for Bobby Cox waits on deck. Hitchcock trying to pitch around a leadoff walk here in the second. Blocked by Leyritz, but he doesn't keep it close enough, and Galarraga gets down to third on what should be the second wild pitch of the inning. It is.
I think Andres Galarraga inadvertently hit Ken Caminetti in the left elbow on this play by Leyritz, hurrying his throw. Chris Gomez backing it up. Caminetti making sure. I think he came down on his helmet, kind of hit his funny bone, left elbow.
Dangerous situation now. We know Hitchcock likes to throw that split in the dirt. We've seen it happen already this at bat to Danny Batista with the runner at third. Now it really gets on Jim Leyritz's shoulder to keep that ball in front.
3-2 pitch. Got him looking to end the inning. 2 strikeouts in this inning. 4 on the afternoon for Hitchcock. Back to Atlanta after a break from your local Fox station.
Well, we earlier saw the release on a split finger from Sterling Hitchcock. This is the curveball. He leads a little bit more with the back of his hand. The rotation will be over the top. You see the downward movement on that pitch, and he gets the called third strike on Danny Batista to end the inning.
And now gets to lead off the third against Tom Glavine, and that's ball 1. It'll be Hitchcock, Veras, and Gwynn. Anybody gets on Greg Vaughn. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, Hitchcock didn't hit much during the regular season, was just 7 out of 50, but he had an important hit. Also scored a run in game 3. The Padres took the lead. A tester for Chipper Jones. On the run, he makes the play, 1 down. And Hitchcock is
slap hitter.
Oh. 1 out, nobody on, and here's Veras. Kilvio walked his first time and takes a strike. Veras trying to reach base for the second time against Glavine, who has just retired the leadoff man for the first time in this game. One ball, 1 strike. In game 2, Kilvio Veras was the only San Diego Padre to drive in a run against Tom Glavine. Put Glavine on the hook for the loss, a loss he received thanks in large part to the pitching of Kevin Brown. 1 and 2 strikes on Veras. Just inside, 2 and 2.
One thing Tommy Glavine rarely does is come inside twice in a row against right-handed batters. This is not necessarily a pitch designed to get him out too far inside. He'll go back out there, I would imagine. Nope, coming back in.
On 2 and 2, and Veras is still up there, full count.
And we talked the other day about putting a hitter in a rocking chair. Pitch him away, pitch him in. Pitch him away, pitch him in. And one way to keep a hitter from guessing along with the pitcher is to double up. Go inside twice, go away twice.
Hard hit right at Chipper Jones. 2 out for the Padres in the third. And that means that Quinn will bat with the bases empty. Tony hit into a double play, 6-4-3 back in the first inning. It's now just 4 out of 22 in this series. Strike 1. Two out, nobody on. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Padres had an informal workout here at Turner Field yesterday after arriving in Atlanta, and most of the guys just came out and worked out a little bit, broke a good sweat, but one man stayed around to hit for a considerable amount of time. Guess who?
This guy who takes ball too low.
Can't get enough of it. Tony Gwynn stayed out on the field and hit a considerable amount of time after his teammates were all gone.
The 8-time batting champion waits. The count in his favor. 2 balls and a strike. Here are Tom Glavine's thoughts on how you pitch to Tony Gwynn throughout the course of a game.
He's certainly one of the few guys that you almost have to pitch him differently. If you see him 4 times a game, you got to pitch him differently 4 times a game, because he's going to make those adjustments every at bat. And the thing with Tony, I guess, is that you just do everything you can to have him come up to the plate in a situation where it's not a situation that he can beat you.
Well, he gets a 2-out base hit here to keep the 3rd inning alive, and Tony Gwynn is now 1 for 2. And Vaughn will get a chance to take his hacks against Glavine in the 3rd.
Yet another hit by Tony Gwynn with 2 strikes on him. Place the ball in a hole like he's shooting pool. That's that 5.5 hole we've been talking about between the shortstop and 3rd baseman. Uncanny ability to wait on the ball and still has quick enough hands to handle the heat. And unfazed by 2 strikes, as he just showed once again.
Now Vaughn. Outside for ball 1. In the postseason, 1 home run for Vaughn. That came in the division series against Houston. 0 for 5 in this series with Atlanta. That will get out of play for strike 1. Catcher cam at rest. And that's Jim Leyritz in the background getting ready for an at bat. So evidently somebody has revived or resuscitated catcher cam after its collision with the ground.
And it's probably sitting there with the rest of his catcher's gear on one of the steps of the dugout.
Vaughn with a 1-ball 1-strike count. Runner at first, 2 down. Strike 2. He's kind of set himself up for an ominous shot right there, hasn't he, with the sun behind him? The King, that's his nickname. There it is. Mugging for the camera. A ball and 2 strikes. Into center field. Andrew Jones can't get there in time. Keeps it in front of him. Back-to-back singles to center by Gwynn and Vaughn with 2 out. And all of a sudden the Padres have another scoring chance with Caminiti coming up.
Outstanding hitting by Greg Vaughn. Watch him reach way out beyond the edge of the plate. That ball was 6 inches outside. I do not think Andrew Jones had a good jump on this ball. I don't think he saw it right away. Normally he plays shallow, but you have to respect the power of Greg Vaughn.
Well, Tom Glavine taking a lot of that power away by the location of his pitches to Greg Vaughn.
So Glavine with 2 on behind him deals with Caminiti, who singled his first time up. Takes a ball.
All 3 hits by the Padres have been base hits up the middle. And as Bob mentioned earlier, that's the way to approach Tommy Glavine. You try to pull him, he'll eat you up.
Outside corner, 1-ball 1-strike. Looked a few inches outside. The call to strike, 1-ball 1-strike on Caminiti. 2 on 2 out, no score, 3rd inning. Inside corner, strike 2.
That's that pitch we've been talking about. When Glavine does sneak that fastball in the inside corner, right-handed hitters are just not prepared to hit it. That's a pitch that Ken Caminiti normally would come out of his shoes swinging at against any other pitcher.
A ball and 2 strikes on Caminiti. Inning over. Strikeout number 2 for Glavine. The Padres have stranded 4, hit into a double play. Bottom of the third, no score. Prior to Game 4 of the upcoming World Series, you can watch for the Gillette Mach 3 Strike Zone Challenge. You will see one lucky fan get the chance to throw a pitch for $2 million. That'll happen before Game 4 on Fox for the '98 World Series, either here in Atlanta or in San Diego, where we understand they have already sold out, flat out sold out, 65,000 plus seats a game for Games 3, 4, and 5, which is a late addition to the early report that we got that there were some tickets remaining for Game 5. These Padre players will tell you they're a long way away from Games 3, 4, and 5 of the World Series. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Graffinino, and that hurt. Coming up and catching Leyritz on the arm.
Now that's the second split finger that Hitchcock has thrown that bounced about 6 or 7 feet in front of home plate. That ball almost hit the infield grass.
Good thing it doesn't have a mic on it after that ball hit Leyritz. 2 balls and a strike. Graffinino, the number 8 hitter, then Glavine, then Weiss. Against Hitchcock, who struck out 4. Just low, 3-1.
If it were not for that double by Graffinino the other day, we may be in New York, and the Braves may be home. John Rocker scoring all the way from first base. He told us before the game, the most fun he's had since high school, running the bases and scoring and running into Carlos Hernandez. There's John. After walking, scoring on that double by Graffinino, and then Graffinino scoring on the wild throw home. That was eventually was the game-winning run scored.
Graffinino's jammed, and he pops it up to Joyner. Leadoff man is gone.
Here's the out package in the first and second inning for Sterling Hitchcock. In the first inning, the splitter gets Walt Weiss. The splitter gets Gerald Williams. And the splitter gets Chipper Jones. Then in the second, a dose of fastball after fastball, and the curveball on the 3-2 count to get Danny Batista. So he's mixing them up.
And now after Graffinino fouled out, Glavine just won the Silver Slugger Award for hitting pitchers. This year in the National League was 17 out of 71, drove in 7. Took a strike, now another, it's 0-2.
The earlier a pitcher can establish all his pitches in a ball game, the more defensive swings you're going to get from that opposing team. Many times a pitcher won't have a good feel for his breaking ball early, won't have good movement on the split finger early. And as the game goes on, they add pitches or subtract pitches from their arsenal depending on what's working. But it appears early that Hitchcock has them all going tonight.
Still 0-2 on Glavine. 2 gone, and that's strikeout number 5 for Sterling Hitchcock, again working on 3 days rest. And he is trying to do something that would be a rarity among starting pitchers against the Atlanta Braves in the postseason in the 90s. Sterling Hitchcock, as you see the strikeout of Glavine, tries to become just the 4th starting pitcher in any one series to defeat the Atlanta Braves 2 times in that series. Jack Morris did it in '91, the World Series. Wakefield of the '92 NLCS. Kevin Brown last year's NLCS. And Sterling Hitchcock, if he puts his name on that list, not only will he accomplish that feat, but he will send San Diego to the World Series. A look at Kevin Brown, who did it a year ago. Weiss, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kevin Brown came on, and I enjoyed his comments after the game. He was most disappointed, he said, because now people are going to second guess my manager. When to all of us at the time, and even after the fact, it seemed the right move. And it just didn't happen as the Padres went for the kill in Game 5 in San Diego.
And graciously, Kevin said, if you want to second guess anything, second guess that walk that I gave up at the top of the 8th inning.
Bases empty, 2 out, and Weiss pops it into right. Fighting the sun. Gwynn is there. He has to charge, and the basket catch to end the inning. Bob and Tim told you it would be tough to see out there if Tony Gwynn didn't believe him. He does now. After 3, no score, Game 6. Question from Merv Retmond after that last out.
Only have glasses on?
Yeah. Jokers out there.
Gwynn initially backed up to allow that ball to get above the sun and then had to come streaking in and make the shoestring catch. That's what Tony Gwynn is staring right at.
Leyritz at the plate, leading it off for San Diego, taking a strike. Leyritz bounced out to third his first time up. Joyner will follow, and then Finley. No score, 4th inning. 2 balls and a strike from Tom Glavine. Now it's Gerald Williams who has to fight the sun out in right. That's backing out of play. Here's Jim Leyritz on his postseason success.
I don't know. It's one of those things, like I said, I hope I don't figure it out because it's worked out well. And, you know, it's one of those things, the postseason is the time I like to play. You know, I've always said I really strived in New York because it was like center stage. And I enjoyed having that pressure every day that, you know, I talked to Mike Piazza, and he said every day is a World Series in New York. And I said, you know what? That's what I like. I like that. And since I've been here, like I said, I've had some success in the postseason. It's been nice.
3 balls, 2 strikes from Glavine.
I think a lot of his success has to do with that area between his ears. Jim Leyritz is a very smart hitter. And at this time of year, opposing pitchers are going to attack your weakness. If you know what your weakness is, that's a pitch you can look for. You may not handle it well.
He handled that well into center, but Andrew Jones back to get it on a line drive out, 1 down in the 4th.
But at least it gives you an idea how a pitcher is going to try to get you out. During the regular season, you may wait for a mistake to hit the ball hard. You may consistently look from the middle of the plate in wherever your strength happens to be. But in the postseason, you can be sure they're going to attack your weaknesses consistently.
Particularly in league championship series. The problem comes when you play the other league in the World Series. That's when hitting becomes doubly tough.
Ball 1 to Wally Joyner. Joyner had Caminiti at second base his first time up, and he struck out. 1 ball, 1 strike. To start, what a job by Sterling Hitchcock so far. Has yet to allow a hit. He has walked 1 and thrown 2 wild pitches. That's all. Struck out 5 along the way. Joyner, one of the many potential free agents on this Padre team. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joins the list of Kevin Brown and Caminiti and Finley. Tony Gwynn getting up there in years, and his body starting to ache a little more. So many view this chance by the Padres in 1998 as maybe the final opportunity for this group. 2-2 to Joyner. Padres have an option on Jim Leyritz. Greg Vaughn seemingly coming out of nowhere after a year and a half. San Diego, where he didn't do much at the plate. That's just outside. The full count on Joyner. '72nd pitch of the game coming from Glavine. It's hit hard to Galarraga. Joyner, the second out for the Padres in the 4th. Let's give you our Aflac trivia question. What teams that met in the World Series had the highest combined regular season win total? Bob just looks at me and shakes his head.
Well, you would think it would be the New York Yankees and whoever comes out of this NLCS. But I'm sure there's a catch there somewhere.
Well, coming in, it should be. It will be. No matter who wins this NLCS, combined with the Yankees 114, it will be the highest total. But we asked the question prior to this year.
Prior to this year.
2 out, nobody on. A strike to Finley, who walked his first time up. One ball, one strike.
Cleveland won 111 games in 1954. And they played the Giants. I don't remember how many games the Giants won. So I'll guess that.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on. 2-1 on Steve Finley, who walked his first time up.
Cubs won 116 games in 1906. I don't even know who they played in the World Series.
Did they play Boston?
I don't remember.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Finley. I have learned the lesson. When in doubt on these trivia questions, just throw out Baltimore. Just throw out the Orioles and hope you catch something. 2 out, nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Finley fouls it back and out of play. 1906, the Cubs played the White Sox. The White Sox ended up with the victory 4 games to 2.
I'll go with you, Joe. I think Baltimore had something to do with this answer to our trivia question.
Bases empty with 2 down. Finley trying to extend this top of the 4th. That's down the left field line, slicing, foul. Still 2-2.
Tommy Glavine and Greg Maddux, both great pitchers, but they are completely different in how they finish off hitters. Maddux will do it in 1 or 2 pitches. 88 pitches last year in a 9-inning game. Glavine always with a 2-2 count, or a 3-2 count, or a 3-1 count.
Bases empty, 2 down, and Finley pounds it into deep right field. Got under it just a bit, and near the track, Williams fights the sun and makes the catch. The Padres go in order for the first time here in Game 6. Bottom of the 4th inning, no score. To the viewfinder of Rob Menschel's camera. Our camera people have done such a great job during this NLCS. Al Friedman, Dennis Shannon will try to get their names on later in the telecast as we approach 5:30 here in the Eastern Time Zone. Gerald Williams takes a ball in the dirt from Sterling Hitchcock. Williams went 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mentioned earlier in the telecast that Braves hitters will try to lay off that splitter in the dirt. It is rarely a strike, but it looks like a strike, and then the body falls out of it.
Clarence Jones, hitting instructor for the Atlanta Braves. He's been here a long time now. As Williams lines a base hit into center field. His 2nd hit of this series. It's a leadoff hit to start the 4th.
And that big turn by Gerald Williams, you just love to see guys who can run make that big turn at first base and give them a chance to go to second in case of a momentary bobble.
If you don't run from home to first the way Gerald Williams did, you have no chance of going from first to second. Give yourself an opportunity.
Here's Chipper Jones, 1 on, nobody out. Williams started and stopped over at first base. Ball 1 to Chipper, who is 5 out of 21 in this series.
Showing bunt a little bit on that first pitch. He's only put down one sacrifice all season. I think that's just a decoy to try to draw the defense a little bit out of position and then try to slap the ball by. Cam Nitti has come in a couple of steps at third base.
Chipper Jones in his 5th season. It seems like he's been around longer than that. .349 career average in League Championship Series play. So coming in, as we mentioned, not much in this LCS with San Diego, 5 out of 20 with only 1 RBI. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Chipper Jones even carried the decoy a little further. He stepped out of the batter's box and had Bobby Dews, the third base coach, go through another set of signs. It's planting a seed in the Padres defense mind that maybe something's up right here. And then he swings away at the next pitch.
A look at Williams.
Not only do hitters for the Braves have to lay off the splitter in the dirt, but base runners have to be particularly vigilant on the bases. Because that ball in the dirt, the splitter is the toughest off-speed pitch to block for a catcher. Unpredictable bounces.
Williams running. Swing and a miss. Throw down. Gerald Williams, a stolen base.
Leyritz threw out only 1 of 11 base stealers on the regular season. That time Williams got a huge jump against Hitchcock. No chance for Jim Leyritz.
First stolen base of this postseason for Gerald Williams.
Often the type of pitch that a catcher has to handle determines whether a stolen base is successful or not. That was a splitter. Leyritz had to stay back. The swing and miss by Jones and a late throw.
Hitchcock keeping an eye on Gerald Williams, who's in scoring position with nobody out. With Jones up now, Galarraga and Javi Lopez to follow. The third for Caminiti. Chipper Jones, the first out of the inning, I should say, but did not advance the runner. And there sits Gerald Williams with 1 away. And now a visit from pitching coach Dave Stewart with Galarraga and Javi Lopez coming up. Our Aflac trivia question: what teams that met in the World Series had the highest combined regular season win total? Our Aflac trivia answer: the Baltimore Orioles won 108 games. The Cincinnati Reds won 102 in 1970 for a combined total of 210.
Nice going, guys.
Yeah, we got half. We know that the New York Yankees, the 1998 version, 114 victories, will combine with either San Diego's 98 or Atlanta's 106 in the upcoming World Series. Here's Galarraga.
I think you just go ahead and pitch to Galarraga as though nobody were on base. You start fooling with that split finger fastball, you have a wild pitch, and Williams ends up at third base with 1 out.
Ball 1 to Galarraga.
Now Williams has stolen third base twice on the season. Andrew Jones is the only Brave with more steals of third. He had 3 on the season. It's a play Bobby Cox likes to use if he has one of his speedier base runners at second, but the Padres are holding him close. Kilvio Veras tucked right in close to second base.
A fastball past Galarraga, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That fastball flew right through Andres Galarraga's hot zone right there, right down the pipe. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Hitchcock has had an impressive fastball, impressive stuff throughout this game.
We're in the 4th inning, no score. Runner at second, 1 out. And a strike over the outside corner to Galarraga, 1-2.
Hitchcock's holding the ball. Often that prevents a guy from that timing mechanism that prevents him from trying to steal a base. Often that's better than throwing over to first or throwing back to second. Just hold the ball.
The 1-2. Galarraga strikes out. 2 gone, and strikeout number 6 for Sterling Hitchcock.
Good sequence here by Sterling Hitchcock. Misses outside. Hits the outside corner with a fastball. Hits the outside corner again. And then gets the swinging strike on a pitch once again out of the strike zone. Remember the scouting report at the top of the show. Hitchcock will get most of his strikeouts on pitches that are not even near the strike zone.
Javi Lopez looking for the 2-out RBI hit. Williams was at second with nobody out. Jones grounded out to third. Galarraga struck out.
Now you can see Kilvio Veras. He's more straight away in a second base position. Not as concerned with Gerald Williams because there are 2 outs now.
Strike 1 on Lopez, who struck out his first time.
And Williams is still jockeying around out there trying to time Hitchcock's delivery to home plate. I think he would try to steal third if he got the jump. Only because Hitchcock does throw so many pitches in the dirt. If Williams could advance to third base early in this at bat, he may have an opportunity to score on a wild pitch pass ball. Normally you would not attempt to steal third base with two outs.
Starts and stops again, and Lopez grounds to third. Caminetti keeps it on the infield, an infield hit to make it first and third, 2 out. Good play by Caminetti to knock it down and save a run.
It really was, and that's what infielders are trained to do. Play a step or 2 deeper with a runner on at second and 2 outs. And if you can't make the play, throw your body in front of it. That ball hit the left elbow of Caminetti, but it does prevent Gerald Williams momentarily from scoring. I guess it hit the heel of the glove.
So Caminetti does his job, and now it's back to Hitchcock with first and third, 2 out, no score, 4th inning, and Andrew Jones at the plate. A pop-up foul. And it will get out of play about 6 rows back. Andrew Jones only 2 RBIs in this series.
Excuse me, Joe. It takes a little more courage to call for that splitter with a runner on at third base. But you can't allow that to affect your decision when putting down fingers. The ball's in the dirt. You got to block it. Puts a lot of pressure on the catcher.
1 ball, 1 strike.
No question, Andrew Jones likes to pull the ball, especially against a left-hander like Sterling Hitchcock.
First and third, 2 out. 2 balls and a strike on Andrew Jones, with Danny Batista waiting next. Jones is jammed, and he pops it into shallow left. Gomez wants it, has it. Scoreless through 4. Sterling Hitchcock gets around 2 hits in the 4th inning. We go to the 5th here in Game 6. Padres and Braves square off to see who goes on to the World Series. That's the one thing we do know. Saturday on Fox, Saturday night, either the Padres or the Braves take on the New York Yankees, and we'll be on the air 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. Chris Gomez leads off with Hitchcock and Veras to follow. 2 balls, no strikes, as Glavine is now up to 81 pitches already. before recording it out here in the 5th inning.
Glavine threw 121 pitches through 6 innings in game 2. As Tim mentioned earlier, not unusual for Glavine. Very much a nibbler, works a lot of deep counts.
Outside corner, 2-1 on Gomez. Gomez hard hit, but right at the shortstop Weiss. Low throw, but out, 1 away, and Gomez 0 for 2.
Infielders have so many decisions to make on balls even hit at them. Do I charge it? Do I back up? Do I charge it? Do I back up? Walt Weiss holds his ground. The in-between hop almost knocks him backwards and recovers in time to get his counterpart.
So Gomez is retired, and now Hitchcock. He bounced down to third his first time up. Strike 1.
You talk to all the infielders, particularly the third baseman, where balls get on top of them in a hurry, and reading a hop, one of the more important things in fielding a routine ground ball. Try to keep it routine.
Strike 2 on Hitchcock. While we have a moment, I want to pass along get well wishes to legendary scout Ellis Clary, who suffered a nasty car accident, but on the road to recovery now and resting comfortably down in Valdosta, Georgia. 0-2 pitch to Hitchcock is just outside.
And while we're sending greetings, I'd like to send birthday wishes to my son Michael, celebrating his 12th birthday today back in Scottsdale, Arizona. Have a piece of cake for me.
Base is empty with 1 out here in the 5th inning. No score of game 6. Still 1-2 on Hitchcock.
Tim, talking about infielders and reading hops, one of the things they tell you as a general rule, if you're ever caught in between, you're always better off being more aggressive. Charge the ball.
Balls to your feet, forward, not backward.
Two balls, 2 strikes from Glavine.
Not only that, but it looks better if you charge the ball than if you try to go back on your heels and that ball eats you up. Boy, that's embarrassing.
Off the plate, Glavine off the mound. 2 out. Here's a listen in to Leo Mazzoni, pitching coach for the Braves, talking to Bobby Cox about Tom Glavine's stuff today.
Got a lot of movement on his ball today.
Maybe.
Got a lot of movement on his ball today, which some have sailed out of the zone and would be one of the reasons why he is pushing 90 pitches now here in the 5th inning.
Movement and location much more important than velocity.
Gilvio Veras has walked and grounded out. To the right side, Graffinino flags it down and retires Veras to end the inning. The Padres go in order for the 2nd consecutive inning. Glavine has now retired 7 straight. No score halfway through game 6. 5, Hank Aaron drive, Turner Field here in Atlanta, Georgia. Joe Buck, Bob Brenly, Tim McCarver. We're still here, and one thing that we knew coming in, guys, you know what to expect pretty much out of Tom Glavine. I don't think anybody knew what to expect out of Sterling Hitchcock, working on 3 days rest, and he's matching Glavine pitch for pitch.
He has everything going for him today. Good fastball, good curveball, and a good split.
And now Danny Batista leads off against Sterling Hitchcock, and Danny looks at a strike. Batista, Graffinino, Glavine, bottom 3 in the order for Atlanta. Batista struck out his first time up. Sterling Hitchcock has struck out 6. Strike 2 on Batista. A ball and 2 strikes as Hitchcock brings it in. 2-2. From catcher Cam on 2-2. Ground ball to third. Caminiti, a long throw, great arm, 1 away. Caminiti relishes the times he gets a chance to show off the arm, and that was one of them.
He backed up a step or 2 on this high bouncer down the third base line, plays the backhand. Oh, what a great feeling that must be for an infielder to know that you can back up 2 or 3 steps almost into foul territory and still have enough arm to throw out a guy that runs pretty well.
3 Gold Glove awards for Caminiti, and usually once or twice a year will come up with some crazy play at third. One where he threw while seated a couple of years ago down in Florida against the Marlins while playing for San Diego was an incredible play. There's strike 1 to Graffinino.
Yeah, his prowess going to his left, as a matter of fact, is how he hurt that shoulder. Left shoulder is a real problem for Ken. MVP a couple of years ago, and did he ever earn it?
1 ball, 1 strike.
Matter of fact, several of these Padres are suffering from sore shoulders right now. Wally Joyner at first base, Kilvio Veras, both shoulders injured at second base, and you mentioned Caminiti with the sore left shoulder at third base.
Strike 2 on Graffinino. Greg Vaughn has had chronic shoulder trouble to the point where the trade with the New York Yankees didn't happen because he failed the physical, and he was sent back transaction-wise to San Diego in a deal that would have brought Kenny Rogers, a left-handed pitcher, Mariano Duncan, the infielder, to San Diego. Graffinino strikes out, and that is number 7 recorded by Hitchcock. 2 out.
Tim mentioned just a moment ago that Sterling Hitchcock had it all working. Here's proof. Split finger for a strikeout. Another split for a strikeout. Goes to his fastball. Blows it by Javi Lopez. Goes to the curveball. Third inning, a fastball to get Tommy Glavine. Split finger in the dirt. And a split finger there to get Tony Graffinino. He's got everything going for him in this ball game so far.
Now works to the pitcher Glavine with the bases empty and 2 out. And hits the outside corner, strike 1.
Tommy Glavine has been successful today because he mixes up his location. Sterling Hitchcock because he mixes up his pitches.
0-2 on Glavine. The Padres in the 6th inning will have Gwynn, Vaughn, and Caminiti. And if Glavine is retired here, the Braves will have the top of the order in the 6th inning of Game 6. And that's the case. Strikeout number 8 for Sterling Hitchcock. We move to the 6th inning here in Atlanta. No score. No score into the 6th.
Dangerous inning for Tommy Glavine. You have a look at Ruben Rivera, who could come in for defense if the Padres score this half inning.
Gwynn, first pitch to Hopper to Galarraga, 1 away. And that's 8 straight retired by Glavine.
There's a big difference in Tom Glavine's game. Many times early in the game, he struggles with his release point. He falls behind a lot of hitters, works a lot of deep counts. But as the game progresses and he finds that release point, he throws balls intentionally working deep counts, as you mentioned earlier, to set up that changeup on the outside corner, to set up that sinker on the outside corner. Early, I think he was missing unintentionally. Lately, I think he's been missing on purpose.
Ball 1 to Vaughn. I said at the start that Vaughn would be tested in left. You would have figured that. The left-hander Hitchcock on the mound, but he has yet to see any action out in left field. It's 1 out of 2 at the plate. And now a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
John Rocker starting to crank it up in case he has to pinch run.
There you go. From one rocker to the other. 1 out, nobody on, 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1.
John Rocker, the winning pitcher in Game 5. He's from Macon, Georgia. And Kevin Brown, the losing pitcher in Game 5 from Macon, Georgia. I would venture to say that that is the first time in postseason play that the winner and loser of any one game has been from Macon, Georgia.
I thought you were going to take an extra step and say from the same city.
No.
I'll go in with you on that. 3 balls and a strike on Vaughn.
Well, they were going to be celebrating in Macon one way or the other.
Vaughn with Caminetti on deck. Into left field and down for a hit in front of Batista. And Greg Vaughn is 2 out of 3. They have definitely missed his bat and his presence in this lineup. He's hit 2 line drives for a couple of hits.
Well, many times you'll see an infielder get locked up on a hard hit ball, but very rarely do you see an outfielder get locked up on a hard hit ball. Has to play that ball actually between his thighs to knock it down, keep it in front.
Nice smother right there.
So now Vaughn is on with 1 out. No score, top of the 6th inning, and Caminetti digs in. Ken is 1 out of 2.
That's the pitch you were talking about, Bob. That was an intentional miss right there. If Caminetti wanted to swing at it, it was going to be a ball off the plate inside. Again, to set the pitch up away.
Like that. Over the corner, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, if you're Bruce Bochy, you have to be a little concerned with Greg Vaughn running the bases. Obviously, you'd like to see him get on base and hit the ball, but nursing that strained left quad, you have to be a little bit concerned when the big boy's out there running the bases.
Especially in a scoreless game in the 6th inning. Caminetti fouls it back, strike 2.
Batting right-handed Ken Caminetti, more of a high ball hitter, but at times will chase the high fastball out of the strike zone. We've seen Glavine tie him up on the inside part of the plate a couple of times with fastballs, and as you might expect, very aggressive. He's very aggressive in everything he does.
That's right.
The 1-2. Do it again. Six o'clock straight up here in Atlanta on the scoreboard here at Turner Field. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Bob Brenly with you. All pitching so far. Total of 6 hits, 4 by San Diego. Sterling Hitchcock is trying to match Tom Glavine pitch for pitch. Padres up 3 games to 2. Here's the 1-2 to Caminetti. 2-2. So the hit by Vaughn broke up the string of 8 in a row. Retired by Glavine, and now Caminetti tries to get a hold of one. Full count with Leyritz next.
And this really hampers Bruce Bochy as far as making a decision on whether to run Greg Vaughn or not. Under all other situations, you send the guy on first, but do you send your power hitter with a bad quadricep?
He is going. Caminetti squirts it through the right side. Headed for third is Vaughn, and by starting the runner, bad leg and all, it ends up first and third, 1 out for San Diego here in the 6th inning.
The wrong guy covered, the second baseman, clearing the right side. Vaughn running, Caminetti jammed, but nobody there to catch the trickler.
And I think that was by design. It looked to me like Caminetti was trying to push that ball to the right side.
He may have been looking outside too for that fastball, and Glavine came in on him, broke his bat. Great for the Padres.
Get a look at that swing from Caminetti. Looking to the right side as he swung the bat, found that hole, and dribbled it into shallow right field.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bob. After seeing the replay, it looked like he saw Raffanino covering, perhaps, and tried to push it through the hole.
Now first and third, 1 out for Leyritz. and a ball outside. So I'll ask you two guys this. If they play everybody away with Glavine pitching, why was the second baseman covering?
Well, perhaps the pitch wasn't in the location it was supposed to be, and maybe it's just good hitting.
Yeah, and I think Caminetti, too, doesn't hit a lot of ground balls the other way.
First and third, one down. 2 balls, no strikes on Leyritz.
The way to prevent that from happening is to have the infielders come in first, hold their position, and then after contact is made, then they determine where to go. Or if he swings through it, then you can cover second base.
Best scoring chance of the game for San Diego. And Leyritz takes a strike. He didn't agree with Steve Ripley.
I fully look for Jim Leyritz to try to take a shot through that same hole on the right side. Galarraga holding Caminetti on first. Graffinino cheating close to second for the double play. And Leyritz throughout this series has gone to the opposite field.
High heat got it past Leyritz. 2-2. And Glavine needs strikeout number 3 right here.
Well, this is not a swing to take a shot to the right side. Jim Leyritz was trying to take a shot to the bleachers there in left field.
The 2-2 pitch. Just up and in. And a full count on Leyritz.
Leo Mazzoni wanted that pitch. The reason Glavine came in on Leyritz, that's where he's more apt to get the strikeout. Inside, not outside.
The 3-2 runner goes, and Leyritz spoiled the pitch. Here's Mazzoni's reaction to that last 3-2 pitch. No sounds of the game there.
I don't think we need any.
Mazzoni wanted it. The Braves didn't get the call. Leyritz has since spoiled a 3-2 pitch and will get another. First and third, 1 out, no scores, 6th inning of game 6. Runner was going to the plate is Vaughn. The Padres take the lead on an RBI ground out by Jim Leyritz. 1-0 San Diego here in the 6th inning.
Well, by starting that runner at first base, the Padres are able to stay out of the double play. The ball was hit in a good location for Vaughn to come home. Yeah, Chipper Jones with a nice barehanded play to get Leyritz at first.
That is the same type of ball that Leyritz hit in game 1 when Ruben Rivera ran home after the throw to first base to give the Padres a lead.
Now Joyner takes a ball with Caminetti at second. Padres started the runner each time with a full count at the plate. It paid off both times. Paid off with Caminetti at the plate, Vaughn running, then with Caminetti running and Leyritz at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike on Joyner.
I would imagine Greg Vaughn would be out of the ball game right now. Ruben Rivera will replace him in left field. We'll have to see, but that would make sense.
Strike 2 on Joyner. That's a decision for Bruce Bochy, but it didn't look to me like Vaughn had any ill effects of that strained left quad. At least that's true. If it's bothering him, it didn't show as he went first to third on the hit and then scored on the RBI groundout. Runner at second is Caminetti, 2 out. Joyner back up the middle and through. Here comes Caminetti. The throw by Andrew Jones not made. It's 2-0 San Diego in the 6th. So the Padres double their lead on this swing by Joyner.
Little sinker. He tried to get on the outside corner, caught too much plate. I'll tell you, as effortlessly as Andrew Jones plays center field, that's the way Wally Joyner swings the bat. Never overswings, never off balance. Puts the bat on the ball and finds the hole up the middle of the field. So
a 2-run 6th inning for San Diego. One win away from their second World Series. Finley dumps one into left center. Joyner will stop at second. And that's 4 hits in this inning, plus the RBI groundout. Tom Glavine up to 116 pitches right now. We saw Leo Mazzoni on the phone to the bullpen as they scramble down in that Atlanta pen while Glavine struggles here in the 6th inning.
You can hear the cheers, about 4.5 on the Richter scale in Southern California about right now.
And the visit from Leo Mazzoni out to talk to Glavine with 2 on 2 out. And the number 8 hitter Chris Gomez at the plate trying to add to the lead. Who else would get the runs started than Jim Leyritz here in Atlanta against the Braves? It wasn't pretty. A little 5-3 ground out, but it worked to put the first run on the board.
And in a quirky way, moved Caminetti to second base so he could score on the 14 hopper by Joyner up the middle.
Now 2 on 2 out for Gomez, who has grounded out twice. No RBIs in this postseason as he takes the ball outside. Turner Field awfully quiet again as the Padres have scored 2 to take the lead. 2 on 2 out. 2-0 the count on Gomez.
We talked about it in the opener, however. The Atlanta Braves have scored 11 runs in the last 3 innings. Game 4 and 5.
(3-0) now on Gomez with the pitcher Hitchcock on deck. Braves bullpen is busy now. Rocker joins Martinez. The 3-0. That'll load him up with 2 outs. And Hitchcock will step to the plate with the bases loaded. 4 hits and a walk in the inning against Glavine. And the pitching star of this game, Sterling Hitchcock, who has thrown 5 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts, has a chance to add to the Padre 2-0 lead.
He did have 1 hit in his last start, but it was to left field. He has no power the other way. You really have to shorten up if you're the left fielder, Danny Batista.
Bases loaded, 2 down, and Hitchcock strike 1.
This is not the time to have a flare drop in front of you if you're a left fielder. Danny Batista, in my view, is too deep right now. He needs to play about 3 more strides toward the infield.
Bases loaded, 2 out, 2 runs in for San Diego. 6th inning, and Glavine trying to get out of a long inning as he hits the outside corner. Strike 2 on Hitchcock. Joyner, Finley, and Gomez the runners. Vaughn and Caminetti have each scored in this inning. A little flare into left field. Batista makes the diving attempt. Didn't come up with it. 2 more runs will score. And if he was too deep before the play, he tried to recover with a dive. Didn't come up with it. And it's 4-0 San Diego.
Well, this more than anything else cannot happen with a guy like Hitchcock hitting. This cannot happen. Bautista turned what should have been a routine play into a ball that hit the thumb of the glove and bounced away, and a huge break for the Padres.
Looked to me like he just missed that ball. He staggered a little bit coming in after it. As he made his dive, he looked like he had his glove in a good position to catch it and just missed the ball.
Bautista got there, but on the dive could not make the connection. It's a 4-run 6th inning and the end of the day for Tom Glavine. 8 men came to the plate in this inning against Tom Glavine. The 8th man, Hitchcock, with his flare into left.
Left-handed batter like Hitchcock, I mean, they kid him on the Padres team about having a bad swing. And if he connects on a ball the other way, there is no way to drive it with any power.
Veras bats right-handed, and what a play by Lopez to save another run.
Walker, a hard thrower. This pitch hits out in front of home plate. Lopez able to center his body, take that ball off the chest protector, and keep it in front.
First and third, 2 down. The 9th man to bat in the inning is Kilvio Veras, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. That's down the right field line, slicing foul. Out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. We already showed you the postseason for Rocker earlier when we were talking about his mad dash from first base in Game 5. This postseason, he has been just about perfect.
He scored more runs than he's allowed. Kilvio Veras grabbing that left shoulder we mentioned, due for off-season surgery on that left shoulder, and apparently injured it somewhat on that swing as he came out of the batter's box.
First and third, 2 down, 1 ball, 1 strike on Veras. A line drive, base hit into right center. Gomez will score, and it's 5-0 San Diego in the 5th. Make it to the 6th inning. A base hit by Veras makes it a 5-run frame. 6th inning, and it's 5-0 Padres.
We're not done, fellas. We're not. Aftershocks from cheering in San Diego. Veras going with the pitch to right center.
So 9 men come to the plate. It's a 5-0 San Diego lead. And now with 2 on, 2 out, Tony Gwynn, who started this inning with a ground out, digs in. Rocker drills the inside corner, strike 1. Two on, 2 out. Gwynn the other way, through. Hitchcock will hold at third, and that'll load him up. So the Padres have batted around, and now Gwynn gets the base hit in his 2nd at bat here in the 6th inning.
Tony Gwynn using that 5.5 hole, the area between the third baseman and the shortstop. That's where this man has made his living for 17 years, right there.
And now with Greg Vaughn coming up, out of the dugout is Bobby Cox. And we may never know the answer. The question you posed earlier, Tim, if Bruce Bochy would have lifted Greg Vaughn for defensive reasons after the Padres came up with 1 run. Now Vaughn bats for the 2nd time this inning. He started this mess for Atlanta with a base hit. 5 runs later, it's 5-0 San Diego here in the 6th inning. In the 6th inning. Will hit the air Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. The World Series only on Fox. So John Rocker not happy with the way he pitched here in this long 6th inning. The error by Danny Bautista really hurt. It's the 7th error of this series for the Atlanta Braves, and now Dennis Martinez is the 3rd pitcher of the inning for Atlanta here in the 6th. Bases loaded, 2 out, and Vaughn, a comebacker. Martinez stabs it, throws on to end the inning. So that'll do it for San Diego, but a big 5-run 6th inning to take the lead here in Game 6. Well, guys, an interesting exchange as the Padres went back to the field. For the bottom of this 6th inning, Greg Vaughn was running out to his position, was called on by the bench for the San Diego Padres. Looked back, and he kind of got in a little shouting match with the dugout, and I think you guys think, talked his way back into left field instead of being replaced by Ruben Rivera.
I think he did.
Walt Weiss takes a strike.
Well, there's a chance that Vaughn could get 1 more at bat in this ball game, and the Padres obviously don't want to look past this game. Worry about saving him for the future. But I think perhaps in this particular situation that Ruben Rivera would be the way to go. A better defensive outfielder, a healthy defensive outfielder. And with a 5-0 lead, you want your better defensive team on the field at this point in the game.
2 balls and a strike on Weiss leading off with Williams and Chipper Jones to follow.
Greg Vaughn developed temporary deafness as he was walking out to left field. They were screaming at him from the Padres bench, and he refused to acknowledge them.
Then he turned around and had a few words with somebody, not in a nasty way, but basically pled his case and ends up in left field. It would have been the perfect time to take him out. He had just made the final out, the top of this 6th inning. 3 balls and a strike. Walt Weiss leading off, trying to get something started for Atlanta. 6th inning. And a leadoff walk is a good start for the Braves.
And that 5-run inning started so innocently with Greg Vaughn at first base running on the play, the 3-2 count. Look at Ferris at second. Going right to the bag. The ball squirts into right field. Vaughn makes it to third without a play. And that set up the 5-run inning. 4 of those runs coming after 2 were out.
And then the error by Danny Bautista, figuring in heavily. Braves had committed 7 errors in this National League Championship Series. That makes it 8, which ties an LCS record. And it came at the most inopportune time for the Braves on the ball hit by Sterling Hitchcock. Little flare into left. Rocker didn't retire anyone, and Dennis Martinez avoided further trouble by getting Vaughn with the bases loaded. Now Williams, after the leadoff walk, takes a strike. Gerald Williams with a single, a stolen base. That came leading off in the 4th inning. Nasty pitch there to make it 0-2 on Williams.
Williams got the base hit back in the 4th inning, leading off on a fastball up and out over the plate. Hitchcock showed him a fastball on the first pitch on the outside corner, then goes right back to the split.
Nicely blocked by Leyritz, who predominantly worked behind the plate after he was picked up by San Diego, catching Sterling Hitchcock. And these two used to hook up in their days with the New York Yankees.
Leyritz has started behind the plate in 14 of the 17 Hitchcock starts this year. So it's being obtained from Boston back in June.
A ball and 2 strikes, and Williams took it down and in. 2-2. By the way, with the error by Bautista, only 2 of the 5 runs that scored in the top of this 6th inning were earned against Tom Glavine. Ryan Boehringer, right-hander, getting ready. Just low and away, 3-2. This is just for the 6th inning, the box score. Hits up and down. In the middle of the order got it started for San Diego. Hitchcock 0 for 1, but he reached on the error and hit the ball into left that produced not only the 2 runs on that play, but 1 more after on the hit by Barris. Still 3-2 on Gerald Williams.
Walt Weiss not running on the play, and that's one of the problems of being down by 2 or 3 or more runs in the middle to late innings. It takes the aggressiveness away from your base runners.
Starting the runners really paid off for the Padres in the top of this 6th inning. The 3-2 to Williams, ripped down the left field line, foul.
That 6th inning for the Padres was reminiscent of the New York Yankees, the way I've seen many of their rallies go this year. Single here, single there, a walk, a single. A nice catch by the ball boy down the left field line.
So the count still 3-2 on Gerald Williams. 1 on with nobody out. Back-to-back walks, and here comes Atlanta in the bottom of the 6th. And that's going to be all for Sterling Hitchcock. With Chipper Jones, Andres Galarraga, and Javi Lopez coming up. Back-to-back walks to start the inning, and with the heart of the Atlanta order coming up. Hitchcock did all he could through 5, leaves here in the 6th inning with his Padres up 5-0 in Game 6. Hitchcock is finished, and now Brian Boehringer takes over in the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-0 San Diego, 2 on, nobody out, and strike 1 to Chipper Jones. There's only 2 games of this postseason coming in this NLCS. 3rd appearance. Atlanta down 5-0. Strike 2. Seen as the right-hander, Denny Nagel the left-hander, getting ready for Atlanta in their bullpen. Ball and 2 strikes on Jones. Bruce Bochy wanted to get Hitchcock out of there in a hurry after the 2 walks, bringing in the right-hander, which allows Chipper Jones to bat left-handed. And he takes strike 3 over the inside corner. And Chipper Jones continues to struggle in this NLCS.
What a huge pitch that was for the Padres. I think Chipper Jones thought it was low. It was very close. Bobby Cox thought it was low. It was on the plate. Huge strikeout.
So now 2 on with 1 out for Galarraga.
That, interestingly, is Chipper Jones's long ball. That ball down and in that he just took.
Galarraga into center field. Finley back to get it. 2 out, and the runners will hold at 1st and 2nd. So Brian Boehringer has come on with 2 on, nobody out. Struck out Chipper Jones. Gets Galarraga with 1 pitch. And now we'll work to Javi Lopez.
Of course, Boehringer isn't out of it yet, but we have had so many unlikely heroes in this series. But Ozzie Guillen, Tony Graffinino with the double in Game 5. John Rocker, Michael Tucker, John Vanderwall with San Diego.
Here's Lopez. 2 on, 2 out, 6th inning. And a strike over the outside corner from Boehringer. Boehringer was with the New York Yankees when they played Atlanta back in the 1996 World Series. One ball, 1 strike. Boehringer appeared twice in that World Series. 5 runs in 5 innings. Two balls and a strike to Javi Lopez, who's 1 for 2. Now 2-2.
Things are the bleakest. The Braves call on Javi Lopez. 2 big home runs in this postseason. 1 against the Cubs, and then the opposite field home run to tie it in Game 4 against Joey Hamilton.
Lopez pops it up. Caminiti waits for it. The Braves put 2 on, fail to score. And we move to the 7th inning. Back to Atlanta after a break from your local Fox station. San Diego Padres carry a 5-0 lead as we move to the 7th inning. Have faith, Padres. Go Padres, keep the faith. Right now they are 3 innings away from moving on to the World Series. The only time in franchise history other than 1984 is Caminiti leads it off. It'll be Caminiti, Leyrich, and Joyner. You know, you go into any postseason series with the Atlanta Braves and you talk about the pitching. But if the Braves fail to advance to the World Series, people around here are going to be talking about the Atlanta Braves hitting, or lack thereof, as Caminiti hits one back to Martinez. High throw, but out. Here at home, the Atlanta Braves, over their last 36 innings, have scored a total of 4 runs. And in this NLCS, you look at the middle of their lineup: Chipper Jones, Andres Galarraga, Javi Lopez, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in today's game for Bobby Cox. Chipper Jones has 1 RBI this entire series. Galarraga has 4, which all came on that grand slam swing. And Lopez has 1. Doesn't matter how good your pitching is, if the middle of your order is doing nothing, you're not going to win. And the Braves are proving that to this point, as Leyrich takes a strike.
And I find it ironic that the 2 victories the Braves pitching staff has in this series came from a 34-year-old grandfather and a 24-year-old rookie. None of the vaunted starting rotation has figured in either one of the victories.
Martinez is one of those 2.
Yeah,
he's a grandfather.
He's a grandpa.
Well, it's not John Rocker.
1 ball, 1 strike. Leyrich, 1 out, nobody on. Strike 2.
Well, we're 0 for 1 in defensive replacements. Greg Vaughn was not taken out, but normally Bruce Bochy will take out Jim Leyrich when Hitchcock comes out of the game. So we could see a new catcher in the bottom of the 7th inning.
A ball and 2 strikes. Leyrich took outside. 2-2. I don't know if I'm ready to say that we're 0 for 1. I think just the pleading on the part of Greg Vaughn kept him in the lineup. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on, and Leyrich stays alive. Jim Leyrich, San Diego Padres, getting closer and closer to New York. World Series begins on Saturday night. We're in the 7th inning. The Braves still plenty of chances, but they have got to wake up offensively. The 2-2 to Leyrich. Chipper Jones there for it. Leyrich is gone. 2 out. One other side note, which is a side note right now, but if the Padres do advance to the World Series, a shot there briefly of Kevin Brown. They will have arrested Kevin Brown ready for game 1 in what would seem to be a matchup with David Wells on Saturday night. Michael and all those Yankee scouts scouting feverishly now, with more of a slant toward the Padre way as Joyner takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Yeah, but the Yankees have no control over this series, obviously. But they were hoping and wishing and praying that it went at least 7 games. So Kevin Brown would be used up. Greg Maddux would be used up. And both teams would be tired in the process.
2 balls and a strike.
That's catcher Cam at rest again. See Dave Stewart, the pitching coach for the Padres, on the phone in the background there.
Joyner 2-2.
And I understand that I'm 0 for 2 in defensive replacements too, because I think Leyrich is coming back out there. He's got his equipment on. But Bruce did tell us before game 1 that normally when he takes Hitchcock out of the game, he takes Leyrich out also.
2 out, nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Wally Joyner. Full count. Again for Glavine, the starter, 5 2/3 innings. 2 earned runs, 5 total, 7 hits. The 3-2. Joyner pops it into left center. Andrew Jones back to get it. Dennis Martinez has faced 4, retired 4. It's time to stretch. For the Braves, it's time to get to work. Bottom of the 7th inning, 5-0 San Diego. 7th inning stretch is over. Now the bottom of the 7th inning and the bottom part of the order for the Atlanta Braves. Strike 1 from Boehringer. What a job Brian Boehringer did last inning. Came in, 2 on, nobody out, and went right through Chipper Jones, Andres Galarraga, and Javi Lopez to keep it a 5-0 score. It remains 5-0. Sterling Hitchcock just watching now as Andrew Jones is in the hole 0-2.
Talked about it in the opening, what the Braves have done over the last 2 games from the 7th inning on. 11 runs, 6 in game 4, 5 in game 5.
Jones pops it up behind home plate for Leyritz, still in the game. 1 out. 4 retired in succession by Boehringer.
To show you how odd that was, the Braves winning the game because of their hitting in the late innings. The San Diego Padres were 75-7 this year when they had the lead after the 6th inning. And yet the Braves have come back, but they got a bigger hill to climb this evening.
And a big reception for Michael Tucker, who digs in as the pinch hitter for Danny Batista. His 5 RBIs in game 5. The major reason why there even is a game 6. Here's the shot off Kevin Brown in the 8th inning. 2 on, and that drive put Atlanta out in front for good. They would tack on 2 more and use all 7 runs and defeat San Diego 7-6 in game 5 to force this game 6. 3 balls, no strikes. Michael Tucker. Not impossible for the Braves. You look at what they've done this season. 3-1 from Boehringer.
Jim Leyritz couldn't put the fastball center down quick enough.
And Boehringer misses with it for a 1-out walk. First man to reach against Boehringer is Tucker. And now Bruce Bochy is out of the dugout with the announcement of Keith Lockhart pinch hitting. Here comes Bruce Bochy, and he calls on the left-hander out of his bullpen. So Boehringer ends up facing 5. He retired 4 of the 5. Did great work to get out of the 6th inning. And the Padres make another call to their bullpen here in the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 on, 1 out for Atlanta, trailing 5-0. This week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, the Washington Redskins look to slow down the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. Then the Cowboys head to the Windy City to battle the Chicago Bears. Plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Check your local listings. Here's Mark Langston, the left-hander, out of the Padre bullpen.
Bruce Bochy bringing on the lefty, really forcing Bobby Cox's hand here. Do you pinch hit for Keith Lockhart? At which point you'd have to bring Ozzie Guillen into the ball game. It looks like Lockhart is going to stay in the game and hit against the left-handed pitching Langston. Greg Colburn also in the on-deck circle, more than likely to hit in the pitcher spot. Greg Maddux along with John Smoltz down in that Braves bullpen.
So the Atlanta Braves have just about everybody who can lift their arm out in that bullpen right now, including the scheduled starter for tomorrow night's game, Maddux. Right now, 1 on, 1 out for Lockhart, dealing with Langston. 2-1 to Lockhart. I mentioned it the other night, Langston, a 15-year Major League veteran. Made his first appearance ever in the postseason back in Game 4. Worked in Game 5, and here he is in Game 6, and he misses 2-0.
This has got to be driving Bruce Bochy and Dave Stewart wacko. 3 walks with a 5-run lead, and now Langston comes in and he's 2-0 against the left-handed batter Lockhart.
With Colburn on deck, a strike. It's 2-1.
That one right down the pipe.
1 on, 1 out. Lockhart pops it foul, and that will find the seats to make it 2-2.
Some walks are acceptable. Man on second base, big strong hitter at the plate, you pitch around him, that walk's acceptable. 5-0 lead, you walk a guy, that's unacceptable. Always.
Joey Hamilton, one of the starters in the bullpen for San Diego, along with Randy Myers. 1 on, 1 out, the 2-2 pitch. Lockhart strikes out. Langston gets the lefty. And now with Tucker at first, the batter will be Colburn.
After falling behind 2-0, was able to come back and even the count. Throws a nasty slider that swept all the way from the inside part of the plate, just off of the outside corner. Lockhart with a defensive swing can't even get a piece of it.
3 consecutive pinch hitters for Bobby Cox, and now Bruce Bochy is going to make another switch.
I think that's a big reason that he didn't take Leyritz out of the game, because he can make a double switch and take Leyritz out right now with the pitcher spot coming up third in the top of the 8th inning.
That's you. That's all you.
So Leyritz exits. Langston will exit. He came on to face one, retire one as he struck out Lockhart. And with Colburn the announced hitter, we saw Hamilton was throwing earlier. Carlos Hernandez will take over behind the plate. Another pitching change for San Diego here in the 7th inning. So Jim Leyritz is finished thanks to the double switch here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Takes off catcher Cam. Waves bye-bye to everyone. Catcher Cam. And our thanks again to Jim Leyritz and all who have worn catcher Cam in the postseason to this point. Leyritz is finished as Hamilton takes over. Hamilton will bat in the spot vacated by Leyritz. And the new catcher Carlos Hernandez will bat 9th. Greg Colburn brings his bat, flies into left center field. Vaughn is on to make the catch, and that's the first test for Greg Vaughn in left field. So Joey Hamilton out of the bullpen to close out the 7th. 5-0 Padres. Number of changes for the Braves. Gerald Williams switches to left field, staying in the game after pinch hitting. In right field is Michael Tucker. Keith Lockhart takes over at second base as Denny Nagel throws his first pitch and fouls. Sees Finley foul it back. There's Lockhart taking over at second base. Unsuccessful as a pinch hitter. And Finley backed up on the count 0-1 as Denny Nagel, the starter in game 4, brings it to the plate. Broken bat, ground ball to Lockhart. Fresh into the game, 1-1.
That top of the 6th inning like a blur for the Padres and a nightmare for the Braves, and here it is.
Here's a pop-up off the bat of Gomez, popped up to the right side. Lockhart makes that play. 2 up, 2 down for San Diego here in the 8th inning.
Joe, we saw that that little clip right there between innings about an inning ago, and you brought up a great point. All of those hits were either up the middle or the opposite way.
The only out was Leyritz, who got on top of one and pulled it just a bit. Ground out 5-3, but it produced a run. The RBI ground out as Carlos Hernandez bats for the first time tonight and takes a ball from Nagel. So each starter from game 4 involved in the game now. Hamilton closed out the bottom of the 7th. Nagel trying to work through a perfect 8th. Two balls, no strikes. Hernandez into left center field, a base hit. Carlos Hernandez reaches first with 2 out here in the 8th inning. Top half of this inning continues with Veras walking to the plate.
Talked about Carlos Hernandez in San Diego, how he's eliminated the stride from his approach at the plate. He's going to shift his weight from back to front, uses a lot of arms, a lot of upper body, and strokes one into left center field.
And now Kilvio Veras. Veras drove in the final run of that long 6th inning. 5-run 6th inning, and that's the Padre lead, 5-0 here in the 8th. A strike from Nagel. One ball, one strike.
You never know what's going to happen, but Braves with the top of the order coming up in the 8th inning figure this will probably be their best chance. Their next at bat running through the top of the order.
To the third baseman Jones. That's a fair ball, and out at first is Veras to end the top of the 8th. As Bob mentioned, top of the order, Weiss, Williams, Jones coming up for Atlanta. Down by 5. Back at Turner Field. Braves running out of chances. They were down 3 games to none. They won games 4 and 5 to force this game 6. But they find themselves trailing 5-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order coming up against Hamilton. A 94-mile-per-hour pitch is upstairs for ball 1 to Weiss. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. 2-0. And I would imagine that Bruce Bochy will not go very far with Joey Hamilton. He's got Myers warming up now, and he's got Hoffman waiting, and Bruce Bochy telling us before the game he would not hesitate to use Trevor Hoffman in the 8th inning.
Weiss will take again here.
And that missed for a leadoff walk. So the Braves get what they need, a leadoff walk, and now have Williams, Jones, Galarraga. The Braves hope many more here in the 8th inning.
That is the 4th walk with a 5-0 lead, and Bruce Bochy more than anybody knows you cannot continue to tempt fate.
Joey Hamilton. A leadoff walk, and now time is called before the pitch, so no pitch. Gerald Williams at the plate. Hamilton started game 4. As you see, time granted by Steve Ripley. Williams calling for it. A strike from Hamilton, who started game number 4 back in San Diego, worked into the 7th inning. Allowed 4 runs on 7 hits. That game-tying home run to Javier Lopez. 1-1.
And if you're thinking, why wouldn't Bobby Cox go to Ryan Klesko here? You're still trailing by 5 runs.
Good pinch in under the hands by Hamilton. A ball and 2 strikes on Gerald Williams.
If you would consider any pinch hitter right now, it'd be a guy like Ozzie Guillen, a guy who could get on base to lead up to the power hitters and save Klesko, but when you need the long ball.
2-2.
And also Bruce Bochy has Randy Myers warmed up and ready to go, a left-hander in the bullpen in the event Bobby Cox does go to one of his left-handed pinch hitters.
One away and a big strikeout for Joey Hamilton to bounce back after the leadoff walk to Weiss.
Well, Joey Hamilton at times can just be overpowering with that sinking, tailing fastball. You can see Williams swung right over the top of that pitch.
Now it's Bullringer watching from the dugout bench. One of the 4 pitchers used tonight by San Diego. Starter was Hitchcock, then Bullringer, then Langston, now Hamilton, who gets a visit from Dave Stewart.
Even though it's the middle of the order, I would imagine that Dave Stewart reminding Hamilton, don't try to be too cute here. Throw strikes.
Who's left on the bench for Bobby Cox? Guillen, Klesko, and Malloy from the left side. Eddie Perez, the other catcher, the right-hander. And that's it. And there is Trevor Hoffman. 1 on, 1 out. Strike 1 on Chipper Jones. 0 for 3 tonight. 5 out of 23 in this series with 1 RBI. Chipper Jones drove in 107 during the regular season. The block by Hernandez, 1-1. Hard to believe, but Chipper Jones has not homered since the middle of September. It is now October 14th. Off the outside corner, 2-1. Down the left side, slicing foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Chipper Jones.
Well, if the Braves are going to get back into this game, you figure it's going to be with the long ball. That's been their MO throughout the regular season and the postseason. Strike quickly with a couple guys on base. Somebody hit a long ball. Hamilton doing a nice job of keeping the ball away from Chipper Jones, forcing him to hit it to the opposite field.
Still 2-2.
Jones does have power the other way. However, that sinker not only sinks, but it's very heavy. And it's tough to lift a pitch like that.
That's foul down the left side.
Unless you get it up like that. High sinkers don't sink.
See Hernandez on that outside corner, has to reach up above his mask to try to catch that ball, and Jones fouls it down the third baseline.
Now Weiss is running and another foul ball.
In the 9th inning, you wouldn't consider this, but in the 8th inning, if they're going to give you second base, why not take it?
Just to back up your point, Bob, the 33 runs scored in this postseason for the Atlanta Braves, 20 of them have come on the home run ball. So they have not been able to manufacture much. Get them on, get them over, get them in. Weiss is on with a leadoff walk there with 1 out, and Jones hits it to first. Joyner knocks it down, feeds Hamilton, 2 out. Chipper Jones now 0 for 4. And the batter will be Galarraga.
That's why you play the first baseman behind the runner with a 5-run lead. Had Joyner been holding him on, that ball may have gotten through on the right side. A fine play by Joyner to knock it down and make sure of 1. And that's the mindset of every infielder right now. Make sure of 1.
Joyner got absolutely no leather on that ball. That was all chest. Wanted to make sure to keep the glove down low in case the ball scooted. He'd be able to knock it down with the glove. If it came up high like it did, he'd be able to knock it down with his body.
And now Galarraga. Runner at second, Weiss led off with a walk, 2 out, and a squirter back to Hamilton. Outfitting the heart of the order after a leadoff walk to Weiss would do nothing. Williams struck out, Jones grounded out, as did Galarraga. We go to the 9th. Number 6 of this 1998 NLCS. San Diego out in front 5-0. One full inning away from returning to the World Series. The first time since 1984. The second time in their franchise history. Tony Gwynn takes a ball inside from Nagel. Gwynn takes it high, 2-0. It's been a long wait for Tony Gwynn, who was in his second full season back in 1984. Padres advanced through the Chicago Cubs and lost to Detroit in the World Series. 3-0 from Nagel. Just to prove, longest duration between World Series appearances. Tony Gwynn, 14 years. There's a strike, 3-1. Jim Cott leading the way with 16 years in between. To the shortstop, Weiss. Good play to his left. Gwynn gone for the first down here in the top of the 9th. Tony Gwynn will end this game 6 with a couple of hits, 2 out of 5. And the batter will be Vaughn. Be seen as getting ready just in case the Padres put something together here in the top of the 9th inning. Vaughn. Well, his impact, Tim, and his presence was felt immediately here in his first start since game 1.
Scoring the first run of the game and the first run in that 5-run 6th inning. Aside from that, no scoring by either side this evening. Matter of fact, the Braves only have 2 hits. Both of those hits in 1 inning. Aside from that, they have just been shut down by the Padres staff.
Combination of Hitchcock, Boehringer, Langston, Hamilton, and you would think eventually Hoffman. 2-1. At least Hoffman will get his shot. Padres gave up a leadoff walk to Weiss in the bottom of the 8th inning, but Williams, Jones, and Galarraga went in order. Kevin Towers, the general manager, the San Diego Padres, on a cool night in Atlanta, sweating through a 9th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Vaughn. And then there's John Schuerholz, who, along with Stan Kasten, year after year after year, are the envy of other major league franchises. What a job those two have done here in Atlanta. The architects of this Atlanta Braves success in the 90s. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Vaughn.
And the only 3 years that the Braves have not gone to the World Series were the years in which they won over 100. 93, they lost to the Phillies. 97, that was last year, they lost to Florida. And this year, if they lose here tonight, won 106 games during the regular season.
Vaughn draws a 1-out walk. And Caminiti will walk in. We all gathered getting ready for this National League Championship Series involving Atlanta, wondering amongst ourselves if the Braves needed to win another World Championship, which they won back in 1995 with mainly this group. Some additions, some subtractions along the way, most notably McGriff, David Justice, but some big additions since then as well. Wondering if they needed to win another World Championship to validate themselves as a dynasty here in the 90s. 1 on, 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes, and that's off the end of the bat. 1-1 on Caminiti.
Seemed like validation came with every team in the postseason. I mean, Cleveland won the pennant in '95. They lost the World Series. They won the pennant last year. They lost the World Series in Game 7. The New York Yankees, even though they won in '96, won 114 games this year. Everybody's saying that if they lose the World Series, it will be the most disappointing of any of the teams. That's an arguable point, but certainly the Braves not getting to the World Series, very disappointing to this franchise.
Just short of greatness. The Braves, great run, 1991 through 1998. 7 division titles. The Braves 7 times to the LCS. 1 World Series title in 95. But this game and this series not over. The Braves have 1 more at bat with Lopez, Jones, and Tucker, the scheduled hitters in the bottom of the inning. 2-2 on Caminiti. But again, you go back to John Sherholt, Stan Kasten, and Bobby Cox, who was the general manager for the Atlanta Braves from 1985 to 1990 and responsible for some of the success, a lot of the success the Braves have had in the 90s. Over the inside corner, Caminiti is gone, and that's the second out here in the top of the 9th inning.
A wicked fastball from Denny Nagel. After all of those change-ups and assortment of breaking balls, he busts Caminiti in on the hands. Fine pitch by Denny Nagel.
And now Ruben Rivera, who will bat for Hamilton. And that should just about seal it. We ought to see Trevor Hoffman in the bottom of this 9th inning. Runner at first with 2 out. And Rivera up on the count, 2-0. Two balls and a strike. We talked about Bobby Cox, who deserves a lot more credit than he gets. Not only being the general manager here and helping to set all this up 1985 to 1990, but for being the manager of this team and doing such a wonderful job on the field as Rivera takes outside. But while we say that, I'm going to look into the other dugout at Bruce Bochy and the job he has done. The 43-year-old manager in just his 4th year has won 2 division titles and may take the Padres back to the World Series. The 2-2 pitch. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Atlanta Braves, down 3 games to 2, and here in Game 6, trailing 5-0. Addition of Andres Galarraga this year. What a regular season, driving in 121. But how about the regular season for Trevor Hoffman, saving 53 in 54 opportunities.
Tell you what the Atlanta Braves have to do, as you see Ruben Rivera in left field, or in right field, I beg your pardon. But here's what the Atlanta Braves have to do. With 3 outs, they have to score 5 runs, at least to tie against Trevor Hoffman. In 66 games this year, Hoffman only gave up 12 runs. That is straight uphill for the Atlanta Braves.
And the numbers for Hoffman in this postseason. He has saved 3, 1 in this LCS. And a number that you hear kicked around a lot. In 1998, including the playoffs, the Padres 91-0 when leading after 8. And dating back to July of 1996, 180-0 when leading after 8.
Joe, you also talked about Bruce Bochy. I think the respect that this ball club has for him and the way he handles this club, indicative of some of his remarks before the game. That loss in Game 5 was absolutely excruciating. And to forget it is a very difficult thing to do, but that's what the Padres have done tonight.
Trevor Hoffman takes over. Javi Lopez leads it off and takes a strike.
And a lot of the reasons that you can forget about something like that is because of the guy who's leading you. And that, in this case, is Bruce Bochy.
Strike 2 on Lopez from Trevor Hoffman. The San Diego Padres are 3 outs away from going to the 1998 World Series to take on the New York Yankees. The 0-2 to Lopez. Ball and 2 strikes. Andrew Jones will follow, and then Michael Tucker. One away, and the Padres are 2 outs away.
Bob and I have talked about the rocking chair with guys who work inside and outside. Well, it's a kind of a rocking chair that Hoffman keeps hitters in too, with that great, I mean, a devastating changeup with the high leg kick and the same arm motion that he has for his fastball. That high leg kick, part of the reason that he is so effective.
Now Andrew Jones, strike 1. Andrew Jones tonight 0 for 3. 6 out of 21 in this series against San Diego. To the shortstop Gomez. Across the infield, the Padres are 1 out away from the 1998 World Series. A look at Sterling Hitchcock and what a job he did tonight in 5 innings. No runs, 2 hits, struck out 8. And also hit a very important fly ball into shallow left, which led to an error by Danny Batista and eventually 3 extra runs. Here is Michael Tucker. A magical game in Game 5. Right now, the last hope for the Braves to extend this 9th inning. One ball, 1 strike.
And again, by the Padres winning tonight, they have Kevin Brown available to open against the Yankees on Saturday night. That is a huge, huge thing.
Michael Tucker with 2 out, nobody on. The fly ball into shallow left center. Long run for Finley. The Padres are going to the 1998 World Series.
The big crowd's out of it, but the small crowd on the field isn't.
And you can bet they are celebrating back in San Diego. It has been a long wait, 14 years. They were there in 1984. They will be there in 1998 to take on the New York Yankees. How fitting for the game to end with Trevor Hoffman on the mound. Sterling Hitchcock, who started the game on the mound for San Diego, is our Chevy Trucks player of the game. He came in on 3 days rest and had to match up with Tom Glavine.
The first game he has ever won in the big leagues on 3 days rest following a start. What a time to do it.
And he comes up with 2 victories, 2-0 in this 1998 NLCS against the Atlanta Braves. Only the 4th starting pitcher to do that against the Atlanta Braves in this run of 7 consecutive league championship series. Tony Gwynn heads off the playing field into the clubhouse as the celebration continues. Some start to wind their way back to the San Diego clubhouse for the celebration. Gwynn last celebrated a trip to the World Series in 1984, and he will celebrate with these teammates in 1998, including Jim Leyritz, who knocked in the first run of this Game 6.
What compelling stories as the Padres head north and not west.
The San Diego Padres came in underdogs against the Houston Astros, took care of them in 4 games. They came in to take on the Atlanta Braves, underdogs. They take care of the Atlanta Braves in 6 games. And right now we take you to Steve Lyons, who's standing by with Tony Gwynn. Steve?
All right, guys, thank you very much. We have Tony Gwynn down here. It's starting to get ugly already, but Tony, 14 years ago, you go to the World Series as a younger player.
Yeah.
Did you think it was going to take you that long to get back?
No, I didn't, but for some reason I felt like this club was special, and even though we win the first 3 games of the series and we turn around and lose 2, I still had a lot of faith in these guys, and tonight showed. I mean, we battled, got a great pitching performance by Sterling Hitchcock, and here we are.
It was a crushing defeat in Game 5. Talk to me about the character of this team that they were able to come back after.
Yeah, well, after that game, I think a lot of guys kind of took stock in themselves. We had the music going like we normally do. We didn't change anything. We tried to keep our same things that we do every day. And even coming here, I think we were really confident. We really felt like we could win this game tonight. And sure enough, we did.
You're going to the biggest stage there is, and you're going to do it against the Yankees.
Yeah.
This pitching staff can match up against that team. They haven't been given any respect all year long. They can do this.
Well, we hope so. For me, it's a big thrill. I've never been to New York, never been to Yankee Stadium, and going to get an opportunity to play there. But we're going to celebrate tonight, try to get focused somewhere down the road. Right now, this is a great day for us, I think. We really stepped up, we really played well, and we get to go to the series as a reward.
Tony, I'm going to let you start doing that celebration
Okay.
right now. Joe, let's send it back up to you.
All right, Steve, congratulations to Tony Gwynn. He's never been to Yankee Stadium, and now he'll start out in right field on Saturday night. Little does he know what he's in for at Yankee Stadium. With that crowd, they will be juiced up. Much, much, much more coming up after these words. Congratulations to the Padres. They're going to the World Series on the heels of this 5-0 victory in Game 6. Presentation for the National League Championship Series. Chip.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Down in the Padre locker room, I'm joined by the president of the National League, Mr. Leonard Coleman, to present the hardware.
Thank you, Chip. To team owner John Morris, president Larry Lucchino, general manager Kevin Towers, certainly manager Bruce Bochy. The Padres put on a dogged determination, putting on a magnificent overall team performance against a great Brave team. And indeed, we look forward to you representing us very well in the World Series beginning in New York. Congratulations to the Padres.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lucchino, what a team you all have assembled in San Diego.
Chip, it's a great thrill to win this. We take this on behalf of these players out here and the passionate fans we have in San Diego and all over Baja California as well. It's great, and we're very thrilled to have this.
14 years between sips of champagne. Was the wait worth it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a great thrill, and it's a great thrill for all of us, and we're just looking forward to the World Series.
Larry, to you and Mr. Morris, congratulations. Let's bring on the general manager, Kevin Towers. What a ball club you all assembled here. What a giant killing team you guys have put together.
I tell you what, I can't say enough about these guys all year. They've been resilient. Won 3 games, came back, lost 2, had to come in against a tough Atlanta club. Our skipper, I think, just did a hell of a job managing. Sterling Hitchcock, big outing. Guys off the bench, the king, everybody, the city of San Diego, this is yours.
I know in 1992 you were a Pirate scout sitting in your hotel room in Toronto watching the Braves steal that win from you all when you were with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Does this in any way give you some sense of redemption?
Oh, I tell you what, the last couple of games I said I'm not counting outs, and sure enough they came back, and tonight I said I'm not going to say anything about outs, no peanuts, nothing. Wait till that last out was made, and I thought I'd never be in this position again. I'm lost for words.
And Kevin, I know you have an awful lot of respect for Bobby Cox and his Braves. You all put together a team very similar to theirs. Great pitching, a great bullpen, and your club play with an awful lot of character, not only all year long, but in this series.
Well, I tell you what, Bobby's one of the best managers in the game, if not the best. And John Sherholtz, matter of fact, when Larry hired me, he asked me what organization we would want to model ours after, and it was the Atlanta Braves. And this is a stepping stone, hopefully, to many, many more championships.
Well, Kevin, again, congratulations on the team you put together, and good luck in the World
Thank
Series.
You, Chip.
All right, Kevin Towers, let's talk to the manager, the skipper of the San Diego Padres. Bruce Bochy, the man with the Midas touch in this series. Everything you touch turned to gold, and you're the National League champions. Congratulations.
Well, I'm not sure about that. For a couple of games, it seemed like all the moves I made weren't working at all. But I can't say enough about the heart and determination this club played with. I mean, to go against two great ball clubs like Houston and Atlanta, it doesn't get any better than this.
Everybody kept calling you all underdogs, not only in your series against Houston, but in this series with the Braves. If you all aren't careful, you're going to shed that underdog label for good, because now you got to take on the Yankees.
Well, I tell you, I never knew I'd like New York as much. I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, we should have been underdog. We stumbled there in September. The two clubs we played had better records, but the heart that these guys played with was just unbelievable.
Well, Bruce, I know there's one more mile for you guys to go. That's, of course, against the Yankees in the World Series. Why don't you go enjoy the celebration?
All right, thanks, Chef. Thanks.
All right, Bruce Bochy, the skipper of the San Diego Padres. We have one more piece of hardware to hand out. We'll do that after we take a break. They're going wild here in Atlanta and in San Diego, too. The Padres are the champions of the National League. Champions of the National League. They advance to the World Series to take on the New York Yankees. Hi again, Chip Carey from the Padres locker room. One more piece of hardware to hand out. Again, the president of the National League, Mr. Leonard Coleman.
Oh, thank you, Chip. Sterling Hitchcock, you really pitched your heart out in two gutty performances. You're most deserving winner of the National League Championship Series Most Valuable Player Award.
Thank you so much.
Good. Congratulations.
Sterling Hitchcock, this is a time of unsung heroes. Did you ever in your wildest imagination think you would be the most valuable player of this series?
No, I sure didn't. And you know, first off, I got to praise God for this. All through this postseason, he's just given me a tremendous calm and peace. And without him, I couldn't have done this. But, you know, I can't say enough for the 24 other guys in this locker room and for Stu and the coaching staff. And it's just been it's been a team effort the whole year long.
As I said with your manager, Bruce Bochy, you guys have been underdogs all year long. You may be an underdog as well, pitching on 3 days rest, something you hadn't had much success doing, but today you were masterful.
You know, thank you. Before in the past, I haven't had a whole lot of luck on 3 days, but the two starts here in postseason, I haven't thrown a whole lot of pitches, and I just thank Stu and Boch for giving me the opportunity to go out there. You know, they put a lot of confidence in me.
And now a former Yankee, you're going to get a shot at the Yankees once again. Wouldn't that be fun?
It will. You know, it doesn't matter who would be playing. It's going to be the time of my life, and I'm so excited.